Welcome to my mystery stamping hour, and we will get started here in just a moment with our mystery card. But I want to welcome you to my stamping hour, and then um, I am Lisa Fulford, your creative coach, and I have a couple of cute cards to show, and they're pretty easy to put together, so we'll get started with today's project. So here are the clues, and I did post them on Facebook, and I emailed them out. So if you want to get the clues in your email, then below the video there is a place to sign up for my newsletter and email list. It's all one. And so if you sign up there, then you will have the clues emailed out to you. So here on the clues, it shows a card base at 8.5 by 5.5, and I have that right here. Grab all my pieces. And so this is Smoky Slate. And then I have some embellishments that I'm going to use here on my card. And they're 24-26 in color shimmer gems. And then we have another piece of Smoky Slate. And this piece here is 3 by 4.25. And it could have been glitter paper or what have you, but I just decided to do a cardstock. And then for our basic white, I have a 3 by 5.5 inch, and that's for the inside. I also have another piece that's 2 7/8 by 4 1/8, and we'll do some stamping on that. I have a circle, and this is one of, I think, the next to the smallest circle in the Spotlight on Nature. And then my piece of DSP. And this is from the 24-25 in color packet, and it's 4 inches by 5.25. And then I have another piece of that same thing, and it's 1 inch by 3.5. So I'm going to lose off the counter, and this goes together really quick. What takes the most is I'm going to do some coloring with my blends. So I have them in a case right here, and the stamp sets that I'm going to use is the Spotlight on Nature. I'm going to do the floral and the butterfly. And then I brought in the Hello from the Irresistible Blooms. And then I also have the Pretty in Pink bordered ribbon to tie a bow. So I'm going to take my bone folder here, to put this together, make sure when I get it lined up, and it doesn't always score exactly in the middle, so I take and try to line up those edges and then just crease. And then I'm going to open this up and get as many pieces off the tabletop as I can. So I'm going to add my piece for the inside. And you can stamp a sentiment on this if you wish, but I wait until I know who I'm going to give it to, so I know like what type of sentiment for each person I want to do. So I'm going to take and add this to the inside, just like that, kind of equal to the sides and then equal top and bottom. And then to add this piece to the inside, I just draw, instead of putting the glue on the back of that, I just draw a line across the bottom. I don't go clear to the edge. And then I will add that right there. Just like that. Whoops, I need it straight. There we go. Close this up. I'm going to crease it again so it'll lay flatter anyway. Now then I'm going to take this DSP and I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the corners. That helps those lay down around the outside edge. Center that on the front of the card. Like that. Then I'm going to take this piece I'm going to add that right here on the front. And I'll just put it on there as straight as I can. If you get a little lopsided, that's fine. So now then, that's our main part. So I'm going to set this off to the side and work on these two pieces here. So I have a piece of scrap paper here that I'm going to put under for my stamping. I'm going to bring in my Memento Tuxedo Black ink in this larger floral. Ink it up. I want to make certain it's good and covered. Then I want to come off the page a little bit with my stems, and I'm going to turn it just a little bit so I make certain I get all the flowers on the page. I'm giving it as much even pressure as I can. And lift. That looks pretty good. I'm going to take my little chamois. This is a container for extra gum. And I took my chamois, cut it in half, and then cut it into a quarter. That way it's handy. And then you can just throw them in the laundry and wash them. That's what I do. I usually rinse them underwater for a few times before I do that. So now I'm going to bring in the butterfly. Ink that up as well. Gets easier if I put that down and then ink this way with a smaller one. I'm going to bring my butterfly in right in there. Trying to hold constant pressure. I'll cover that with a little gem because I've got a little halo on it. Didn't pay attention to that before I stamped, but we make mistakes and then we fix them later. Yeah. It's nice I can have that little chamois right here on my desk with me. I do have a sand eraser. I'm going to try to get as much off as I can. And then I'll cover it with a gem. I got some of it off. All right, so this is where it's going to take the most time for this card. And I have, let's see, dark granny apple green to do some of my leaves. Just kind of flicking that up. And I'm going to follow stems like that. And I have the light granny apple green to blend out, blend out the color. So I kind of get a two-tone. I'm about coloring this ahead of time, but it won't take very long to do this. Kind of did go out of the lines right here. So I'm going to take that and try to lighten that up a little bit between the leaf and the stem. And that's pretty good. So I'm finished with the Granny Apple Green. So I'll move on to another color. So the next one that I'm going to do is, let's see, dark flirty flamingo. And I'm going to add that to the base of my flowers. And I'm just kind of flicking it. I'm not really coloring it in heavily or anything. I'm going to come back and add a little bit more. You have to let it dry a little bit to add more. I'm not certain I'm done with that. And then I'm going to take my, you can mix colors. So I'm taking the petal, dark petal pink. And I'm going to blend that out some. And we get a two-tone flower. I'm doing it this way. It doesn't take a lot, just a little patience. And I'm just going with the striping, the natural highlights of the flower. All right, so we'll set that off to the side. Now I'm going to bring in, it's a light lemon lolly. Add that here to the butterfly. Just like that. Then I'm going to do petal pink because I don't want it quite as dark as, or not petal pink, light pretty in pink, because I don't want it as dark as the flowers. So I'll do this around the wings. So kind of like that. Bring in this petal pink again. Blend that out just a little bit. I don't want to blend it quite as much as I did that. I want it to show the pink. There we go. Then I have another little trick that I like to do, and it is the light pool party. I like to do an outline and try to stay as much on that black line as I can, because I just want very little of the blue to show. So I'm just outlining so that it makes it pop. And if you get a little thicker, you can either fix it with the color lifter or you can leave it, because when it dries a little bit lighter. I hope you'll try this little trick to outline to gives your images a little bit more dimension. Just completely go around it. And in with like the green and things, if you kind of color in where the green's at, it won't matter because it'll hide it. Now if it was yellow, you want to make certain you stay on the line. Oh, that just smeared that black, and that normally does not happen. Okay, I already did that. Then I'm going to go around my butterfly. And do those little antennas. See if I can't fix that. I don't know why that. Normally the momentum does not bleed. I maybe can put a gem there. All right, so you can see that it kind of gives it a little bit more. It makes it kind of pop off the page a little bit. So we'll take that and I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And it's not going to glue how you would think that it is. I'm going to put this a little bit at an angle. Kind of like that. Set that off to the side for a minute, and I'm going to bring in Flirty Flamingo ink and that hello. I'm going to go right in the center of my circle. That looks pretty good. Close up my inks, them off, and do my things. All right, so we're finished with the glue, and I'm going to bring in a few dimensionals. So I've got 2 on this little page. So I'm just going to add 1 at the bottom, 1 at the top, and take the backings off. Throw those away. And I'll bring this over here and I'm going to add my hello. I'm trying to make it straight with the card itself. Put that right there. I'm going to bring in my ribbon. This sometimes is hard to get in a small bow. Try. It ties nicely, but if you want it small, it's hard to get it small. So I'm going to cut that off the bolt now that I've got a bow started, and then I'm just going to hold the center, make it little. Then when you go to pull it, I try to hold those tails. Try to make it tight. So it's like that. Now I'm going to cut my little ends because they fray when you're trying to make it tight. So I didn't really waste too much because I did it on the bolt of ribbon. So I'm going to add some glue dots. I'm going to add 1 to the back of the bow, or the little bow part. And then I'll put 1 right here in the center. So I've got 3 glue dots because I want it to lay flat. I'll add my bow kind of up in there, like that. I'll bring these little gems in. I'm going to go ahead and close out my ribbon so I don't lose this little pin. So I think I want the little orange ones to try to bring out the orange in the flowers and the butterflies. Oh, there's my scissors. Usually do the take your pick tool, but I think I've got it put up. Take this. Let's see if I can cover most of that. I did. Put one there. Put one down here at the bottom of my hello. And maybe up there. Below here. I don't think I'll need to cover that, but I'm going to put another one there. That way I've got 5, an uneven number. And so that is our mystery card reveal. And also you can add a little extra to this card, and it makes this just a little bit darker when you add Wink of Stella like to your flowers, to each one of them, and then to your butterfly. I'm just squeezing it just a little bit to get some of that glitter out of it. See if it's getting on there. It's kind of hard to tell sometimes. I think this one's getting close to being out, because I can hear it taking air. There we go. So it's got a little bit of glitter. I don't know if the camera can get that or not, but in person there's some on there. So that's our card reveal. And here is the one that I did before. But I also did another one. And this one's using the Frosted Forest and then some of the paper from the Iconic Celebration. And the little bird I colored in with our Stampin' blends. But then I just stamped our trees. And then I used my Wink of Stella to kind of smear out the ink that I had just laid down. So I did the tree, then added the Wink of Stella, did this tree and added the Wink of Stella. That way it kind of fills it in without using the mask that you can do. And for this trunk, for this tree, I just took, this one here has a very long trunk on it, but I made certain to make it a little bit shorter. And I just inked up that trunk again in Early Espresso, turn it the other way to stamp it. And then I blended just a little bit of blue behind it, and then just a little bit of green to kind of fill those in. And then of course across the bottom. So there is our mystery stamp, our mystery card reveal. So I hope that you will try to do this this pattern, and it is simple to put together. The most time that it consuming thing is doing your focal image, and if you wanted to, you could die cut those and add those on there. But I like stamping and then using the blends to give it some extra color and a little pop. And then I hope that you'll try that other little tip of outlining your images with the Pool Party. You can use other colors, but I think Pool Party does the best for me. And also you can mix it up and move your sentiment someplace else. And you can do trees, you can do, floral. you could do just about anything that you could build a scene with. So thank you for joining me for this mystery hour. And if you enjoyed this card, I encourage you to subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified of the future cards that I add. And I have a playlist for the mystery stamping. I also have a playlist for my Makeup Mondays and my Technique Tuesdays. And so hopefully you'll check out the different playlists that I have. And thank you for joining me. See you later. Bye bye. Happy stamping.